Friday, which means one thing on this channel. We're going through everything that went down in price in the Pokemon market this week. Cards, sealed product, all in Canadian prices. If it dropped, we're talking about it. I pulled the data from DoubleHolo so you don't have to, every week. And before we get into it, question of the day. If you were to start your Pokemon trainer journey today, which starter would you choose from Gen 1? Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. Me personally, Charmander for sure. Let me know if you do the same or if you think you can top that. Let's go! Welcome to Pokéwood. Quick PokeBeach check. Following last week's teaser, Storm Emeralda has now been officially revealed. It will release in Japan on July 31st. Here's the pack art. And we have inside the set, there's going to be about 115 cards. And there's going to be a split stadium card. So that's been a while. And there's also this Mega Gallade EX SIR promo. Looks very sick. Next we have Mega Starter decks that have been revealed. They are going to release on July 31st. There's 3 versions with new illustration rares. You have the Eevee, the Sprigatito, and the Zorua. And last we have China releasing its 10th SV set. It's going to release on July 16th and it will be called Chasing Glory Together. It's going to feature cards from Journey Together and Destined Rivals. So here are some of the cards. And they will also be getting an exclusive one, which will be Brock's Scouting SIR, which looks pretty nice, like the mountains in the back. So 7 products on the red list today, 3 sealed, 3 singles, and honestly some of these surprised me when I pulled the data. A couple of them are dropping in price, but the signals are pointing up. Let's get into it. Perfect Order ETB, down 10% this week, about $11 Canadian, was at $108 earlier this month. Right now it's 93. Signal leans towards selling, but with low confidence. Even the tool isn't fully sure. The 30 to 60 day forecast drops to $96 and the price trend is falling. So nothing here is telling me to buy. Avoid for now. Let it show you a floor first. Prismatic Booster Bundle, down 8% this week, $12 Canadian. Was at $164. Now at $140. Same signal as the last one. Slightly favors selling, low confidence, but the short-term forecast actually drops further, down to 131 in the next week or two. So the tool literally says picking up speed downward. The medium and long-term forecasts recover back to around 138. So the data is saying rough couple of weeks ahead, then it stabilizes. The AI signal is actually hold with a rising trend. So there's like a contradiction between the short term and long term here. So I think it's not yet. If it hits that 130 range and holds, that's when it starts looking interesting. Chaos Rising Pokemon Center ETB, down 7% this week, $18 Canadian. The 30-day high was $313. Right now it's at $239. That's a $70 drop from peak in about a month. So same context as the regular Chaos ETB we covered last week. So this set launched May 22nd. The Pokemon Center version always carries a premium, and that premium got bid up hard before launch. What you're seeing is the post-launch correction playing out. No sentiment data on this one, so we're just reading the chart, and the chart is a consistent downward since launch. So no bounce, no stabilization yet. So my verdict is not yet $240 is still a significant price for a box that's dropped every single week since launch. So wait for it to flatten before considering it. Mega Charizard X EX UPC. Down 7% this week, $28 Canadian. The 30-day high was $410 and right now at $374. But before you put this one in the avoid column, look at the chart. See the spike right here? Sharp move up, then a quick pullback right after. That pattern usually means one thing. Sellers came in right after the spike and took their profits fast. That's not a product losing value, that's short-term trading activity. And zoom out, the overall 1 month trend on this UPC is still up 39% over the last 30 days, despite this week's drop. Signal slightly favors buying. Very high confidence. The price trend is rising. Action leans toward buying. 7 to 14 day forecast is $392 Canadian. A 5% move up from here. 30 to 60 days is the same number. So this might actually be a buying opportunity. The dip looks like profit taking after a spike, not real selling pressure. If you've been watching this UPC, 374 is a more interesting entry than 410 was last week. Ivysaur, number 167. It's down 10% this week, $9 Canadian. The 30-day high was $89 and it's now at $79. But this chart is telling me something. Look at it carefully. See that dip at the start of June? The card dropped to around 77, then recovered all the way back to 89 in less than 2 weeks. Now it's pulling back again to almost the same exact level. The question is this the same pattern repeating? The data says yes. Price trend is rising fast. Action leans towards buying. 30 to 60 day forecast is $91. A 5% move up from here. Reddit is bullish, plus 35. AI signal is hold with a bullish sentiment. Everything is pointing in the same direction. This dip looks like an opportunity, not a warning sign. And the chart has already shown us once this month that this card bounces from this level. So I think it's worth picking up. $79 with a bullish signal and a chart that's already proven it, bounces from here. That's a reasonable entry. Charizard EX number 223, down 10% this week, almost $20 Canadian. 30-day high was $206. It's now at $174. $30 gone from peak in a month on a Charizard. People are going to notice that. The tool is not subtle about what it thinks. Signal is a good time to buy, very high confidence. Action, good time to buy. It says the car looks underpriced and may bounce. 7 to 14 day forecast is $182 Canadian. A 5% move up from here. Reddit is bullish, plus 42. 58 mentions for 14 days. 4 positive, 0 negative. 1 honest caveat. The 30 to 60 day forecast dips to 164 before recovering. So medium term, it might get a little cheaper before it gets better. Canadian verdict, cautious buy. The short-term signal is strong with very high confidence. But if you're patient, there's a chance you get an even better entry over the next month or two. 1 copy now. Keep watching for a lower entry later. Saving the biggest one for last. Mega Greninja EX number 166. It's down 14% this week, $69 Canadian in 7 days. The 30-day high on this card was $666. Right now it's around $413. So that's $250 gone from peak in about a month. So it's the same context as the Chaos Rising PCETB earlier. This card released May 22nd. The pre-release hike pushed it to $666. Supply hit the market and it's been finding its real price ever since. The question is $413 the real price? The tool thinks it might be lower than that before it recovers. Signal, good time to buy, very high confidence. Says the card looks underpriced and may bounce. 7 to 14 day forecast is $434, a 5% move up. but the 30 to 60 day forecast dips back to 407. So there might be a little more downside before it stabilizes. Reddit is bullish, plus 48, 193 mentions in 14 days, 4 positive, 0 negative. The trend is minus 10.8, though the conversation is cooling off as the launch hype fades. Verdict, watch it closely, but don't rush. The signal is strong and the confidence is very high, but with a card that's dropped this much, this fast since launch, there's no shame in waiting another week or two to see if 413 is actually the floor. If it holds here, that's your entry. Quick recap before I let you go. Perfect Order ETB, still sliding post-launch, avoid for now. Prismatic booster bundle, short term might drop further, not yet. Chaos Rising PC ETB, post-launch correction still playing out, avoid for now. Mega Charizard X EX UPC, dip after a spike, bullish data, worth watching closely. Ivysaur 167, same bounce pattern as earlier this month. I think it's worth picking up. Charizard EX 223, strong buy signal despite the drop, cautious buy. Mega Greninja EX 166, biggest drop of the week, still finding its floor. Watch it, but don't rush. Don't forget the question of the day from the top of the video. Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. Wood out. See you in the next one.